All right, top of the morning to all my patrons out there. I want to do this video right here. Hopefully that I can try to reach someone, anyone that will have the ears to see, eyes to see, ears to hear. You know, I was listening to the Lion's Den, and I often hear Brother Rob Mathis, and he doesn't say much. He doesn't speak much, but when he does speak, it's very profound. And I'm gonna try to go off a little bit of what he said and take it a little bit farther. I want to talk about leadership. All right. When you have never, ever been in leadership, you assume that you have all the answers to all the problems, all the situations, everything that occurs. Only one problem though. Leadership has to do with also managing skills, learning how to manage people and using them at their strengths, not what they believe that they're strong at, but using them at their strengths in order to be able to get their mission accomplished. And of course, there are a lot of people that have a heady and high mind and a very high lofty opinion of themselves. And they believe that they are leadership material and leadership quality of a leadership fabric, and they just simply are not. And one way you know that people are non-appreciative today, and again, I'm going to preface Brother Rob when he clearly says, he has been under authority and been in authority. When you've been under authority, and every good leader has first been a good follower. That's exactly what he said. And the majority of the people who want to be or fancy themselves to be leaders, they've never followed anything except the tenets and the mandates of their own mind and their own little wicked hearts. They reason within themselves and they assume that they have all the answers, not knowing that there are nuances and dynamics to everything. That's the reason why nothing today is pretty much concrete when you're dealing with situations. I'll give you an example. We're getting ready for the feast, okay? And I may give out a mandate, we need to do this, and this. And then in the midst of that, those who are legalists, they'll stick to the letter and say, this is what we need to do. This is what we need to do. Not having the spirit, meaning that, okay, we could have done that, but now we need to do this. In other words, you need to be subject to change. You need to be subject to adapt in order to fit the situation as we go forth. Because while we have the concrete order or the baseline of the mandate sitting there that's established, there's going to be a dynamic of change over here to still get the mission accomplished. That doesn't mean we haven't deviated from the letter. That means that the change had to take place in order to get to this end, because it's just like when you go on a journey. You can be, let me use land navigation for an example. Okay, you can look at a map, you can put it down, you can shoot an arrow and go from point A to point B. And from point A to point B is 10 miles. You can draw a straight line, but I guarantee you one thing, you're not going to walk in that straight line, not in the jungles, woods, or roads in order to get to point B. And this is a lot of things that people don't understand. And so a lot of times when people have not been good followers, they will never, ever be good leaders. Never be a good leader. Because humility is definitely needed in order to be a good leader. I was actually talking to Mother Carol this morning too, and I started thinking about some of the issues and troubles that people have, and I'm gonna let y'all in on it too. It's just a theory of mine, because I can't see nobody in their older age actually admitting it, but it's just a theory of mine. It's just something that I discern, and I could more than likely be discerning right. But if you notice that when people get older and stuff, like, and they're getting to the point where they're being cared for, and some of them, not all of them, they become very abusive in their words. They become very inconsiderate. Even though they can't do anything for themselves, they're very demanding and abusive, and will just say anything. Well, I preface that with, how many times has the Messiah often said, when you're cursing people in your heart, or you saying things in the spirit of your mind, but you're not vocalizing it? Let me give you an example. Have you ever had a leader, and listen, no leaders are ever going to be really truly liked and respected and honored unless you have been in a position of leadership and really truly get it and comprehend and understand. But some of us have had piss poor leaders. And have you ever in your heart cursed them leaders in your mind when they tell you something, depending on how they deliver the message or the mission, and you say it in your heart, not vocalize it, but you said it in your mind. And I thought to myself, how many times does this type of communication go on where anytime somebody gives you a directive, they give you direction, give you mandates and stuff, and you disagree with it. You don't say anything. You still go do it, but you don't say anything with your mouth, but you vocalize it in the spirit of your mind. I myself personally am beginning to think that when this type of communication is not checked at the door, and when this type of communication goes forth, I am truly, truly beginning to think that what people do is they end up cursing people in the spirit of their mind, and it becomes a behavior. And then later on, when your mind starts going, everything that you used to communicate in the spirit of your mind is now coming out to the forefront. And that's the reason why the Bible says over and over again, you have to be careful that you don't curse people in your heart. You have to be careful that you don't be offended by people. Because remember, he puts a lot of emphasis on the thoughts and the intents of people's heart. A lot of times you can look at people and tell what's really going on with them, because even though they don't communicate it, there is an action and there's an inaction. There are things that people, when they are not offended, there's a way that they carry themselves. There's a way that when they are offended, there's a way that they carry themselves. And when they carry themselves that way, there are things that they do and they do not do. But you have to be very keen in discernment in order to be able to pick up on this type of traffic and what's going on. Because the majority of the people are just simply not going to admit, if they caught, that you have an offense against a brother or sister. But you can watch the withholding good, you can watch the ill will, you can watch the countenance falling. There's so many things you can actually see naturally where people communicate disapproval. I continue to keep saying over and over again that this spirit realm is a hell of a lot more realer than this natural realm. We just had another brother that we had to put out the ministry, excommunicado from Straightway Praise Land after three times. Brother Isaiah. And I told him, don't come, Kabir, tell him, don't come to this feast. Don't come to this feast. He has a very nice vehicle, a decent vehicle to drive back and forth. What kind of vehicle do you need just to get back and forth from work? I remember before I even came into faith, Mother Carol and I, we had three vehicles. We had a Nissan Maxima. I think she had that Hyundai, if I can remember, and I had a Mazda RX-8 or something like that. I would leave her the Maxima and the other vehicle, and I would drive that beater RX-8 back and forth to work. And the reason why I did that, because I didn't want my wife and my children to be without reliable transportation. It's okay if transportation break down or something on me, because I can take care of it myself. But we had a brother, and on this community, I'm going to give you some examples too. We had a brother, Isaiah, in the ministry. He had reliable transportation to get back and forth from work. And Kabir sent me pictures of how trash that he kept the vehicle. There's like here, Straightway. You'll get a lot of people who want to drive the vehicles, but very few people clean them. I mean, I can count, let me see. I've seen, with my own eyes, I've seen Brother Brett and Sister Angelica. Now, I'm telling you what I've seen with my own eyes. Myself and Mother Carol. Them are the only four people, and I'm not saying that people should be doing this the way I can see them. But them are the only four people I ever seen wash any vehicles out here on this land. And if you watch some people in certain vehicles that they drive and the way they keep them up, they're pretty much telling you the way that the character and spirit is too, because if their vehicle is nasty, they nasty. That's just an automatic. And if they claim not to be nasty, they're nasty somewhere. They're nasty either in hygiene or they're nasty in their spirit. They're nasty somewhere, because when you have a care about things that you do, you meticulously try to take care of things. And but I can't tell you how many times that, let me go back to this. So this brother got offended because Kabir drives a Cadillac. Well, damn, we got two of them out here. And he told Brother Kabir, he says, I'm kind of salty because I got to drive this thing and you get to drive a Cadillac. And I'm like, whoa, are you serious? Where in the hell was your ass at when he worked out and had all that sweat equity to have a Cadillac? And what do you have to give to Israel when this man has went out there on the gridiron, made all these money, and now he's done totally turned his life upside down by inviting Israelites in? And I'm going to tell you right now, I guarantee you the majority of all those Israelites didn't have nothing to contribute to him. They may have gave a couple of $1,000s, but I guarantee you that the majority of people living in straightway praise land didn't give $50,000 or $100,000 and hand it to him and saying, thank you for allowing me to be here on this community. I guarantee they didn't do it. And I guarantee you this murmurer and this complainer that has come in bitching about a car and then getting salty because Kabir is driving a Cadillac. And then he had the arrogancy and the audacity and the unmitigated gall to turn around and tell Kabir, you have the means to buy me a brand new vehicle and I want a brand new vehicle. And then he made a determination or made a decision, you know what? I don't want to live here no more. Guess what? Fine with us. I said, good. He said, get him out. Get him out right now and then give him back the money that he bought when he came in. Kabir did it. You know what this schizophrenic guy did? He turns around and sends the money right back that Kabir gave him. Can you believe that? I said, and then he's asking for help. I said, we're done. After the first and second admonition reject, you on your third one. We're done with you, son. Go find somebody else that can lead you into eternal life because it's obvious that you have submission problems. Bye. Goodbye, good riddance, and so the hell long. We're done with you. My fuse is done finished. I'm finished right there. See you later. Bye, Isaiah. You ain't welcome to the feast. Go find somebody else that will tolerate you and put up with your unregenerated spirit. Amazing, huh? Amazing, huh? We've got 2 Cadillacs here. I purposely put vehicles online, and I purposely do not let people just drive them around because and you won't know this unless you live on community. When you live on community, stuff just breaks. I've sat and followed saints before and watched them, whatever fog and mind numb they in, I'll sit there and watch them run and hit every damn pothole on the way out and not even try to dodge it out on our main road right here. And I go, where's the appreciation of this? And it costs us a hell of a lot of money. And we have a faithful brother, a young brother here, man, that he stays in the shop fixing stuff simply because people would not care for it. Stuff get broke. Nobody knows who did it. This is stuff you got to deal with when you deal in community. But it could be a hell of a lot better, a hell of a lot more pleasant place if everybody would take the responsibility that what we have here on this land is, no matter how many times you say that it's all of ours, somebody still has to be the steward. Somebody has to give an account for their stewardship. We just can't let anybody run around and do whatever the hell they want because this place will look worse than a junkyard on Sanford and Son if I let everybody do what the hell they want the way that they want it. Because everybody don't have the same care. Everybody don't have the same response. But I'll tell you one thing, whenever they need to go on a trip, they want the most reliable transportation that there is. They want a lot of money in their pocket. They want to make sure that their trip goes smooth as ice. But when they're here, man, they abuse these vehicles like you wouldn't believe it. And that's why certain vehicles I don't let nobody get into and drive. Now, I'll let people get into vehicles and drive them. For instance, let's say if somebody has to go, a family has to go to another community. I'll give them the good vehicle and let them drive it. Go ahead, y'all go and take this. But when they bring it back, I'm going to inspect that thing. Yes, I am too. When you go rent a vehicle, do you not get it inspected? Well, we're not renting this out. But see, yeah, it is our vehicle. But some of you, we already know, leadership knows that you don't have the same care and you don't take care of those vehicles the way that we do. Is it because we have an invested interest? Is it because we have to buy them and pay for them? I mean, I literally had to start pulling vehicles out of my dang name. Because people just all of a sudden just start running into stuff and just wrecking stuff all over the place. And then straightway Kansas, boy, they got a serious problem with wrecking vehicles out there. And every vehicle that they wreck is a testimony to God's goodness. No, y'all got some damn drunk ass mindsets that really truly needs to be dialed into the sober meter. Because all these damn accidents are not happening because God is trying to preserve you. If anything, His mercy is trying to wake your ass up. Stop flipping the damn script. How is it that I'm driving all these vehicles And Elder Doug is driving all these vehicles, and we drive more than anybody on this land having to run and do stuff. How is it that we're not getting in all these damn accidents? How is it that Elder Rufus, he drives literally all over the face of this damn United States of America, and he don't have all these accidents, but yet you go 2 miles away from home, 10 miles away from home, you're running into buses, you're hitting telephone poles, you're running into pedestrians, you're backing up into people and shit, and you always got an excuse for your mental lapse. Always got an excuse for it. Oh, it's their problem. It's their fault. It's their this. It's their this. Unbelievable. No, we're not as sober as we think we are. And you know, it's a good thing that I am discussing stuff like this, because if it's not said, people just simply, even if it's said, people still not going to get it. But no, Isaiah can't come back. Can't come back. And I think more than anything, I think we need to be careful about cursing people in the darkness of our heart, even though you're not putting voice to it. Remember, all of us are going to be judged by the thought and the intent of our hearts. You can believe that. You can believe that and take that to the bank. But now you can tell people who get spirits on them, they get very abusive and they withhold good. If they get offended, they withhold good. We come up against challenges and then we want to quit and throw in the towel. You know, it's the one thing about the military. I remember when we was in jump school. Now, to me, jump school really wasn't that hard. It was a lot of inconveniences with a lot of bruises and stuff on you and carrying on for doing all them PLLs, but it really wasn't that hard to me. But I sit each and every morning, 3 weeks of school right there. I sit and watch each and every morning. The black hats will come out and say, anybody want to quit? And boy, people would take a step forward and we'd be telling them, no, man. And they'll be saying, shut up. They will shut us up too, boy. And then we do all kind of push-ups and calisthenics and all types of exercises. We do, just because we broke protocol. And boy, people would quit on a daily. Even in the middle of the day, they would quit. And I learned something valuable about people who quit. The people who quit, they don't make it to the next level. And if they quit, they don't make it to the next level, they're not even on your team anyway. Did y'all hear what I just said? You start off on something, and then you're challenged by spirits to quit. You're not even worthy to be on the team anyway. The book even teaches you that even when you're considering to go to war, you need to sit down and think about everything that needs to go on. And if you can't defeat this enemy, you need to be looking for conditions of speech. Most people never, ever take an account of what's involved. I didn't take account what was involved. I could only take an account what was involved based on what I wanted to achieve and do for the Most High God. And I still don't live my life to myself. I live my life in His service. So you can only imagine how much bitching and murmuring and griping and moaning and bawling and squalling and complaining, because if you ain't working to my level, you ain't give what I've got, you ain't give what I gave, and you're not instrumental in laboring for this kingdom and y'all's venue and stuff, you're not going to get too much honor and respect. I mean, I know when you have words. I know when you have nefarious words. I know when you have a bunch of words, but there's no deeds to line up with your words. I know where you're lacking at. I know the thoughts that challenge your minds and stuff, because I have to overcome as well. But this mediocrity and this mediocre spirit that people are putting out today, man, I'm telling you, how do you think really truly you're going to go into the kingdom like that? Many people are deceived by their own vain opinion. I said a lot, and you may need to go back and listen to this video again. But don't go out there and give leadership any trouble, any problems, because you know what? If you were in the leadership position and then you had me crawling down your ass because you the leader and stuff, I guarantee you'd want to quit and give it up too as well. Because you won't believe how many times that I have to talk to leaders on a daily basis, heads of community, heads of home fellowship and stuff, and we got all kind of stuff and issues and troubles and everything we got to deal with on a daily. My time is very valuable. I am a man that is spread very thin every day, whether you see me or not. It's totally irrelevant. I'm looking for people who are going to help bring a support in this walk right here, who are going to help and come and hold up my hands, not them bring them down because you want what you want done. And you see things the way you want things. No, Moses had somebody holding up his hands so the people could get delivered. I need somebody to hold up my hands rather than trying to drag them down. I just got finished. I'm going to let this one out of the bag. I just got finished. Elder Rufus had a beautiful meeting down there in Houston, Texas. Man, I just got finished ripping Elder Rufus. Because there are two sisters that's been in this ministry, I can't tell you how long. And still to this day, from myself to Elder Mitch to Brother Greg and Elder Rufus, these two consume the most damn time in counsel and still produce a foul-ass spirit. And you got people who come into the ministry that done surpassed him in beauty of holiness 10 times over. And yet they're consuming all this time of leadership, getting the same answers, hearing the same damn thing. The problem is there's not a willing heart. There's an unconverted mind, and it ain't a willing spirit, and you will not change and dial to that old evil Adamic nature. You continue to keep sitting there and watch people come in getting blessed. You watch women keep coming to these good men and having babies and happy and stuff, and you still just disgustingly miserable. I said, Elder Rufus, don't you go do that again. He said, Pastor, I know. And he does know. And he had to go down there because he was on a mission to do something. He could only spend 1 hour out of 2 or 3 days down there, only 1 hour with that person, because when he got there, he had a lot of counseling to do of Israel, had a lot of teaching to do, preaching to do of Israel. And that one sister was just glad to get that 1 hour of time with him, because that's 1 hour that she didn't have. But we're dealing with an unthankful, and unholy, and an ungrateful generation is what we're dealing with in this daytime and hour. And we hear message after message, Sabbath after Sabbath, and some of us still ain't getting no better. What an abomination. What literally an abomination. Myself and Mother Carol getting ready to tear out here again early this morning because we got to run and go do what many people don't do. I mean, most people don't know what my home does. They just assume that they do. But the majority of the people, especially the sisters on this land, their job is usually done before noon, and they got the whole damn day left in them. That ain't me. From the time I wake up in the morning to the time I go to bed at night, I'm busy. Even if I sit down on that couch for 1 hour, I'm still busy. And you got people that have time to sit on their ass and meditate and think up and drum up stuff like this, and nothing how to be a benefit. Nothing in how to be an asset. No, it's all about me. It's all about me, myself, and my selfish ass I. That's what it's all about. Nah, this mess got to stop, and it's going to stop. But myself and Mother Carol getting ready to tear out here again and getting ready to go spend thousands of dollars for the Feast of the Most High Yah, for hopefully the faithful ones that are being able to come to be able to rejoice before the Most High Yah. Anyway, I hope it said something to stimulate thought. Y'all have a wonderful day. Shalom, the King coming.